Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give you the quick notes in this short video for lesson 8.5. And we were talking about working with consecutive terms versus non-consecutive terms. So consecutive terms are terms that are right next to each other. So for example, these down here, these are called consecutive. Versus terms that are not right next to each other. And so 0 and 2 would be non-consecutive. And so if you have consecutive terms, recall that to find the common ratio, that R value, you do a term divided by the previous term. But if I have non-consecutive terms, that means that I have something where I'm going to do a number times R, however many I need, is equal to that next number, the one that's not consecutive, but the one where I had a skip. All right, so for example, down here, I would have to multiply by R and then by R again. So let me do an example. I think an example would be the most helpful. So let's say that I have this table. I'll make a table, an XY table. And let's say that I have the first term is 4. I don't know the second term, but the third term is 144. And so I have non-consecutive numbers, right? I skip my term for 2 before I move on to 3. Okay, so what that means is I'm starting at 4. I have to multiply by R and then by R again to get to 144. And so a couple of things happen. One, R times R is R squared. And my job is to get R by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by divide both sides by 4. I'm going to take a term and divide by a previous term. It's just that this previous term is not right next to it, okay? So 144 divided by 4 is 36. In other words, I'm trying to find a number times itself that gets me 36. I could do the square root of that number, and so R is 6. And so that's one strategy we can use to find non-consecutive, to find the common ratio with non-consecutive terms. So your job is to work through the check your understanding in the 8.5 practice and to ask me questions.